Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we're playing with mesh again. We're making a wreath. Today you're going to need 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of mesh. It's totally up to you for this wreath. And the ones I purchased were the ones that are these 10 inch, let me check, 10 inches wide and 10 yards long. So each one of these, does this have 10 yards as well? Yep. Each one of these are 10 inches wide, 10 yards long, and I'm using 3 that work together. You're going to need your rotary cutter and something to cut on. That just makes it easier, but you can also use scissors. You're going to need some brown chenille stems. These are those fuzzy sticks you can pick up at Walmart or any craft store. We're going to use a 14-inch work wreath for this wreath, but you could do this bigger or smaller depending on what you need. If you do it bigger, you may need more product, but we'll see as we go through. I'll let you know how much I end up using. So the first thing we want to do is we want to line up our mesh, the 3 rolls, all together, because we're going to cut 3 at a time. We are not even going to attempt to do this, one at a time. That would take a lot longer, so we're going to try to cheat the system. So with all 3 together, I'm going to line it up on my 10-inch mark of my cutting mat, okay? Then I'm going to come over here to the 1, and I'm going to run my blade up the 1-inch mark, holding down nice and firm so that it cuts through all at one time. Isn't that nice and easy? I love it. So I'm going to do that with every bit of the ribbon on these rolls, all the way down. Okay, so I have cut out 25 10-inch strips, and I stopped at that because I got to thinking I'm only doing a 14-inch wreath. I'm probably not going to need all of the spool of mesh. So here's how we're going to do this. Now, we've made a loop wreath before. I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one, in that I'm going to roll this one really tight. So let me show you. I'm going to roll these centers really snug this time. Before I didn't roll them quite this tight, but you see how I'm doing that? So I'm going to do another one so you can see it. And you hold one in your hand while you do the next one. It can be a little tricky doing that, but you can handle it. See how I'm just rolling that really, really tight? Because I want some really tight loops this time. So there's the next one. And let's do this guy really snug. Just holding on to those other 2. Just like so. And then adding them together. Snug as a bug in a rug. Now I'm going to take a chenille stem and put it in the middle. And I'm going to twist it nice and tight in that center piece. Really tight, okay? Because I want this to be really snug and really tight in the middle to give it a lot of body. So see how that's going to do like that? Now let me show you. We'll come to our wreath, which I need to take the price tag off of. So now we've made this one piece, okay? We've got our chenille stem sticking out, and here's our wreath. I'm going to take these 2 pieces of chenille and stick them through the wreath. And let me flip it over and show you where. On these 2 middle prongs, leaving the outer ones without anything, okay? Then, I'm going to take this chenille. This is going to be hard to do on camera. I'm going to twist this really snug, really tight, okay? Just like that. So we end up with our set of twists on the 2 center prongs with the chenille stem holding it on. Now, eventually, we're going to come back and snip all these off. I'll do this one now just because we're here. So that'll go away. You can just tuck that down like that, okay? So that's one set. Let's make a whole bunch more. So I have made quite the pile of these little guys here, and this is going to be super easy to do. Once you get all those twisted up, this part's easy. So remember, we're going to take the chenille stems and put them through these 2 sections. So we're going to wrap it around these 2 middle pieces, but through the edges. I'm going to flip it over to show you that. So I've got the 2 center pieces between my chenille stems, and then the outer edges are not in the chenille. Now here's the thing I want to tell you. When you put these together, you want to bring them together really close to each other and very tight. So make your chenille stems really tight and bring them close, because that's going to be, in the end, what gives us the look we're looking for. We want them to be snug, and we'll do this kind of stuff at the end. We'll fluff them and everything, but you want to put them on really tight, very close to each other. So here's another one. So I'm going to take the 2 chenille stems, put them over the 2 center ones, flip it over, keep them snug together, and twist. And then just push those together as much as you can. because that's what's going to make it work. See, right now it doesn't look so great because I keep flipping it over on itself, but once we get it together nice and snug, we'll be able to do some of this pulling out like this, and they'll be tight so they'll hold each other into place. All right, so I'm just going to go through and add these guys all the way around the wreath. So now I have 25 of them all onto the wreath form. And you see how I have all my little chenille stems sticking up? Now I want to run through and snip those off, because I put them on nice and tight, so now I can just snip them away. So all of those are snipped away, and now I'm going to push these pieces to the front. The ones that seem to be coming to the back, I'm just going to, in the middle, push them to the front, just so that that is not so puffy right there in the center there. And these, you can do the same on the side if you want. I don't really think it matters as much out here. I just wanted to get that out of the middle a little bit. Now let's flip it over. And look how pretty it is. And we don't have to do much. You can come in and do some movement of things around if you want to. And now for the fun part. So I have this little pumpkin harvest thing that I actually had in my stash from years. I normally just hang it up, but I thought this would be really cute on this wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire it in using chenille stems. Now, one thing to note about your chenille stems, if they're not long enough to go through and out the back, just make them longer by putting them together on one end, twisting them. And then what I like to do is take these pieces and fold them away from each other just to kind of make sure it's nice and locked in, like that. And then you just find a spot, and this looks like a good spot to me, because this brown will hide. And I'm going to feed this underneath. Let me pull this in here a little bit and get rid of it. Just pull it nice and snug. See how we're going to do that? And you're not going to notice that when you get it hung up. And you probably will be able to find a spot on whatever you're putting on the middle that you can hide. So I'm going to flip this over where I want it to be. And I'm going to pull these chenille stems through. Then we'll just tighten it down. Not too tight because you don't want it to pinch in. Let me show you what I mean by that. If you pull it too snug, it's going to sink down in such a way that it makes it kind of dented, and we don't want that. We just want it to kind of be laying on top. So I've extended another chenille stem. And I'm going to try to find a spot where you can see what I'm doing. I think I'm going to go right through here on this little guy on the pumpkin stem. Just kind of hide it in there behind those leaves. Now if you have just regular wire, that would work great because you wouldn't see it at all if you're using just a plain wire. But I'm just going to use these chenille stems. Now, this piece has this wire on it, and there's a loop at the top. I'm going to use that for my next one. And I should only need one chenille stem for it. Feed this through. I've got it on one side, and now we'll tuck it through these on the other side. Then go in, and anywhere that you need to fluff or pull anything out that maybe has gotten tucked behind, just come through and pull and fluff and tuck. And I think that's super cute. Now think about this, because I really didn't, but there's a lot of orange going on in mine, which I like. Orange is my favorite color for fall, so I'm good with that. But you might want to use something in the middle that's a little more contrasting, but that's totally up to you. I think this turned out super cute. All right, guys, I know it's hard to see on the camera frame now because it grows so big as we're making it, but you'll be able to see it in pictures. Hope you enjoyed that one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.